Hello everyone, TAC1421 here. Welcome back to my Camerupt TCG Pokemon tournament. And this is the final round of the tournament. And I got a little nervous in the loading screen here because I saw my opponent had Steel and Water Pokemon. And I was thinking, man, if they have a lot of Water Pokemon, this can end in a hurry because all my Pokemon besides Mewtwo are weak to water. And if they have like Suicune, I really have no answer for that. So I'm going to just promote the Numel and hopefully they don't really have too many water Pokemon. And then to my surprise, I guess it shouldn't have been too much of a surprise because the water Pokemon on the deck is probably either like a Seismitoad or a Keldeo EX. So luckily enough, my opponent only has a metal Pokemon in play, so we do have to be careful Aegislash because I do run some DCEs in the deck, and if we put those DCEs on some of these Pokemon, we can't attack the Aegislash, so you have to just be careful about that. I do get another Camerupt into play, and turn one we are able to Blacksmith and onto our Camerupt and attack with a Tumbling Attack. And only for 60 damage. If we get heads one of these times, we essentially get a two-shot kill. So I'm hoping for at least one heads out of the two attacks that we're going to have in these next two attacks. Because essentially, if we get a heads, that's base 60 damage, and then times 2 will hit for 120. And he already has 60 on him, so that will do 180 total damage, and we will get the first blood of this game. So that's kind of what I'm hoping for. At this point, you know, Cobalion can only do 30 damage to us, and I want to be careful about attaching this DC to a particular Pokemon on my team, just because if we attach it to a bunch of different Pokemon, then we can't attack the Aegislash. So what I'm going to do is I'm not going to attach it to this active Numel or this active Camerupt EX. What I'm going to do instead is I'm going to attach it to one of the bench ones. So we're going to have a benched Camerupt kind of ready to go, ready to attack any other Pokemon that comes into play. But we're going to continue to Tumbling Attack. We're looking for that heads, and we miss it. So we're 0 for 2 on the flips. And this Cobalion lives to see another day. Luckily, they have their retreat cost is too high to really do anything. We see a Headringer go on to my active Camerupt EX, which definitely stinks. I was unable to get a Muscle Band into play at any point, so what can you do? If we did have the Muscle Band, I think we would have been able to hit for 50 turn 1 and then hit for, I guess, 100 total because of the weakness, and we would have been able to KO anyways without the heads. So that is a little unfortunate, but what can you do? We are probably going to just Ultra Ball here, Ultra Ball away the N and the teammates, and then probably, or I guess we can do one of two ways, but we're going to eventually end after we get a Numel into play, which is great. Or I guess a Team Magma's Camerupt. And then we get the Fire Energy. I'm going to have to attach that, unfortunately. We're going to put the Muscle Band onto my Camerupt on the bench, not the one that has the DC. We're going to save that one just in case we have to put a Float Stone on that one in case we get in trouble with Aegislash. So we do get the first blood there, which is great. My active Camerupt only has 60 damage on it, so we are looking pretty solid at this point. My opponent has not been able to get any other water Pokemon in play. I'm still trying to figure out what water Pokemon they have, because if they do have, I guess, Seismitoad, that can be pretty bad for my team. We will be able to knock it out eventually, but there is the Seismitoad EX, and that's not what I was looking for. I did not want to see that, but we are going to be able to kill this. Really any Pokemon he brings into play next turn, as long as we don't get like poisoned or anything like that and stay asleep like we did in the previous round. We do see a Bronzong come into play, good old Bronzong. And these metal decks have seen a big jump in play recently. They're pretty good decks. I do like good old metal decks. I've played a good amount myself, but it does not look like this person's playing the typical metal deck with normal, I guess, EX Pokemon. that I'm used to seeing. We do get the float stone, which is great. We actually get 2 float stones, so we attach those to all those different Pokemon. And then I'm thinking of the best action at this point, and I'm thinking what I might want to do is go ahead and try to maybe computer search for a Juniper. I think that might be probably the best thing to go with. And then we can just kind of go from there. So we are going to get the Juniper, and we get another Camerupt, Team Magma's Camerupt into play. We could bench the Mewtwo. I forget if I do or not. It wouldn't be, it'd be a fine play either way. And then we're just going to start setting up this Camerupt on the bench. I feel like the next Pokemon that my opponent is going to bring into the game, into this match, is most likely going to be either I think he's going to bring his Aegislash into play, but he can actually easily bring his Seismitoad as well, just to get some damage off and stuff like that. And he can trainer lock me, so I can't play any trainer cards. I can still play supporters, but no trainers, so that might actually be pretty bad for me if that ends up happening, because I can't play any like Energy Switch or Switches or anything like that. And I do get End, so I can't play any Muscle Bands if he does use his first attack, which he's going to probably use because that's the only thing he can do. So it's still looking pretty good though at this point. I mean, I've taken 3 prizes, and Camrupts, I'm getting like most of my Camrupts powered up. We do need to get a DCE to be able to knock out this Seismitoad. But I'm not sure if I really want to put it on there or not. So we are going to attach a Fire Energy. I think I actually take that move back, and I'm just going to attach the Mewtwo. I'm going to put the Mewtwo down, and then I kind of blank on everything. I was hoping to get a DCE to get the one-hit kill, but we don't actually end up getting a Fire Energy at all. So we're just going to hit for 30 damage. That's really all we can do. We can't use Energy Switch, and we can't. The next turn we're not going to be able to use the Versus Seeker either. So we do have to be really careful about this, because things can take a turn for the worse pretty soon. Luckily enough, Seismitoad is only hitting for 60 damage a turn, so it's not really too much. We can kind of live with that. But we are going to get knocked out there, so my opponent's going to take their first 2 prizes of the game, which isn't too worrisome at this point, but we do have to still be careful. And there is the very next card, of course, is going to be that DCE. So, what can you do there? At this point, what I think the best course of action is probably to put that DCE onto one of my Team Magma Camrupts. We can hit for 60 damage. We can move a Fire Energy to my Camerupt EX on the bench, and then go from there, get some damage off on the Seismitoad. Worst comes to worst, they knock out one of my whatever it's called, my Team Magma Camrupts, and then they have an odd amount of prizes, so they have to, we're trying to force them to knock out two more Pokemon EX, make it a 7-card prize game. And so we're going to use that flame ball thing and attach the Fire Energy to my Camerupt on the bench, and then we can hopefully float stone back to the bench next turn and get a good old knockout with Camerupt EX onto this Seismitoad. So I believe this turn my opponent makes a very questionable play, and I think they're going to, if I remember correctly, they AZ their Seismitoad EX, and then they promote their Aegislash and knock out my Team Magma's Camerupt. So they have a good amount of energy on their Aegislash at this point, but I mean, I don't think it's really worth. I don't think that was the best play necessarily that they made. So they do stall for a little while, but they are going to go for the Versus Seeker, and then I believe they get that AZ out of their discard pile. That Full Art AZ, pretty cool card, and it doesn't see a huge amount of play. I played it a good amount when I played it like a Dragonite deck, but besides that, I don't really play AZ too much. But they are going to get the kill here onto my Camerupt, my Team Magma Camerupt. They barely get the kill, and then all I really need to do here is I just promote my Camerupt on the bench that doesn't have the DCE attached to it. We can attach a Fire Energy. I'm not trainer locked anymore, so I can use all these trainers to my disposal. We're going to attach the Fire Energy. we might as well use an Ultra Ball here as well. But most importantly, we that Blacksmith from the discard pile. We have exactly 2 energy in the discard pile. Put that onto my Camerupt. I'm going to Ultra Ball a Fire Energy and then a Switch, and that way we can get. It doesn't really matter what Pokemon we get in play, but we thin our deck out here a little bit. We are going to get a Mewtwo, and then we can use Team Magma's Camrupt's ability, and there we go. We get Burning Draft, and then we can Energy Switch onto the Camerupt on my bench, and now we're set up to win the game. So we can go ahead and use Explosive Jet onto this Pokemon, and my opponent actually concedes the match, but I did have that one in the bag, and we do get 10 more of these coins from the Wheel of Fortune. And that is it. That is the tournament. We win the tournament, which is fantastic. This Camerupt DX deck comes out ahead of all the rest. We played 3 pretty good matches. The first match, we played that Rayquaza kind of deck. And then the second round, we played a Night March deck. In this game, we played this metal type deck. We see all these prizes we get, which is kind of crazy. We get 4 total packs, 3 Roaring Skies, as well as, I forget what the other one was, but we're actually going to open these up for everyone because I felt like opening them up on screen and giving, just showing what I got. So we have these 3 mystery chests, and the first one we get 5 coins and this Mienshao, which I'm never going to use. So we're going to go ahead and open the other one up, and actually I believe I got a pretty good card here. We managed to get ourselves a Bronzong, so I'll probably end up trading that because I have like 6 of them now. And then last but not least, we get a Lysander and then 5 more coins. So pretty cool. Those mystery chests that are pretty awesome. And then now to open up our 4 packs, we got first with the Furious Fists, and we'll see what we get in this particular pack. So we see some decent Pokemon, and we see the Korrina, which is pretty cool. And then we actually get a Dragonite EX. So that is definitely awesome. Definitely a really cool Pokemon. I'm going to have to make a Dragonite deck eventually because I made one in real life, and it was pretty cool with all like I made it with like AZ, I made it with a bunch of different things, Max Heal and all that, Full Heal. I forget the name of the card. I think it's Max Heal. And our very next pack, we get a Latios EX. Latios' first attack is pretty cool. It's one of those few cards that can attack on the turn 1 of the game. Even if you're going first, so that's pretty awesome. Very next pack here, we see a Hawlucha, but it's actually not the Hawlucha, the good Hawlucha. We see a Jirachi, which is pretty cool, and then Dustox, which I think I'm actually going to try to make a deck out of that Dustox because it has a very cool ability. Last but not least, this very last pack that we got from winning the tournament, we get another Hawlucha, we get a Ninjask, and then we get a Mega Rayquaza EX. So in 4 packs, we get 3 EXs, which are very, very good. So that's really cool. I'm really happy about the pulls that we got from these packs. I'm happy how the tournament went. Hopefully you enjoyed the tournament with the Camerupt. Go ahead and try to build it for yourself. If you missed the first episode, that's when I kind of went through the breakdown of the deck. So if you missed that, go ahead and check that out if you want to build the deck for yourself. And we'll be back with some more tournaments in the future. Let me know in the comments down below what kind of decks you want to see in these tournaments, and I'll try to do my best to build some decks for everyone and get these tournaments going. So hopefully you guys enjoyed, and I'll see everyone next time. Peace.